Hey everybody, welcome back to the Joyful Candle on YouTube. I wanted to get on here today and do an in-depth review of the 22 ounce 2-wick candle of Fall Cider by Caramel Sundays. This is probably honestly, I think this is my third burn. But I'm having such a great experience with it that I wanted to get on here and review it immediately because it is such a great fragrance that I'm really enjoying. So let's jump right into kind of what this scent reminds me of and the scent notes. So supposedly this Fall Cider is supposed to be a dupe of Cider Lane from Bath & Body Works. I would say it's pretty darn similar, but I actually think I prefer this over Cider Lane for a couple of reasons. Let me get to the scent notes for you guys. This one is releasing in the September 14th restock. So you should be able to get this in a 2-wick and I think a 4-wick, but let me double check on that. Looking right now. So it is, yes, it's definitely restocking in the 2-wick and I believe it's restocking in the 4-wick as well. Yes, it is. So you'll be able to get them in both vessels. I would say, honestly, with how strong this candle is, you would be fine just getting the 2-wick, but if you get the 4-wick, this scent is a powerhouse. So let's jump right into the notes. So top notes of spiced cider, middle notes of tart apple and caramel, bottom notes of brown sugar, warm brown sugar and clove. So the scent description says, our brand new fall staple candle combines warm caramel, tart apples, and warm brown sugar for a delicious and decadent, amazing seasonal must-have. Totally agree with that. So I would say you definitely get a cider note in this. You get that warm apple and like a gooey caramel. So I had a couple of questions. A couple candle friends were asking me how this compared to Bath & Body Works Cider Lane, and how this one compares to the caramel dipped apple that's also releasing in, I believe, the 2-wick. So I have not tried that one, but from what I've heard, Fall Cider is more of a kind of fresh, like warm, like you're at a fair, you're at an apple orchard, that caramel, like that really warm, sweet, caramely feeling almost. Like, or if you walk into a candy shop and you can just smell that like really warm caramel with a little bit of spice and that delicious apple. Whereas I believe caramel dipped apple is gonna be more of like a candied apple, like a Granny Smith, like tart green apple. Whereas this is definitely a red apple. You kind of get that warmth from like the cider that's been sitting on the stove with, you know, a little bit of that spice. So I actually think I prefer this over Cider Lane. When I was smelling and burning them side by side, Cider Lane is a little bit more heavy on the caramel and it kind of like weighs down the fragrance. I still like Cider Lane, but honestly, if I could get this every year for the rest of my life, I would totally pick fall. If I had to pick between Fall Cider and Cider Lane, I would definitely pick this. One reason being this has been burning absolutely perfect and the strength is strong. I think honestly this is like a 9 or a 10. Within 20 minutes, this is filling up a very, very, very large space. So whereas like Cider Lane from Bath & Body Works, I tend to have burn issues with that one, so I do need to do a review on this year's version of it. But in the past, they've gotten puny wicks very easily and just hasn't had like a great burn performance, whereas I've had nothing but a positive experience with this candle. So a couple things to note. So I'm just looking at the notes of caramel dipped apple, which is like the green apple, candied apple that's coming out for caramel sundaes. That's also releasing in the next restock. That one is more, and someone, I think it was Drew Yock was telling me that that one is more of like that fakey kind of caramel that you can buy at the store, that kind of like with a green apple, whereas this is more like a true ooey gooey caramel apple, but also like that cider that comes with it. So all of that to say, I love this candle. I would honestly rate it overall like a 10 out of 10. 9 out of 10 strength and throw, very high strength, throwing into almost every room. It's kind of like an overbearing fragrance, but also like very warm and inviting too. So I feel like I've kind of been all over the place with this review, but all of that to say, this is incredible. Caramel sundaes, you nailed it. Please never get rid of this. This is so delicious. Yeah, I kind of want to go back to the scent notes and just like dive into those a little bit more. Yeah, you definitely get the spiced cider. The warm brown sugar too, I feel like that adds a really nice element to this candle that makes it just really nice and inviting and warm and very sugary in the best way possible. Yeah, it's honestly just an incredible scent. I would say the clove is very minimal. I get like a teensy bit of clove. I mostly get just like the most beautiful spiced cider with a warm caramel apple. So I would say it's pretty much the same as Cider Lane, but better. Way more, I would say way more like bright, delicious apple. Whereas I feel like Cider Lane leans a little bit heavier on the caramel. So anyways, guys, this scent does restock coming up in about a week, September 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you guys set your alarms and that you sign up for the text alerts to have the chance to take this one home. Hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you in the next review.